Would you believe me if I told you that getting close to birds or even having them come close to you has very little to do with the color or the type of clothing that you're wearing? A lot of people think that they need to wear muted colors, like camouflage kind of colors, tans and soft, gentle colors in order to get close to birds to not frighten them or scare them away. But the truth is, that has very little to do with how the birds and the wild world responds to us. Today, during the Mindful Bird Sit, we're going to explore an old and very simple technique to approach the wild. Most people might not even try it because it seems so basic and so simple. But I invite you to give it a try for yourself and see what happens. Hey there, thanks for joining. If you're new here, my name is Kristi, and I help people connect deeply with birds and nature while boosting their skills, elevating their confidence, and helping them to fall more in love with life. If that's something you'd like to do, please subscribe and stick around. You can also check out my courses like Identify Any Bird Anywhere, or you can join the Roost, which is the new bird lovers community right here. And for a limited time, we have the Warbler cards. Those are free cards that are available to help you learn and connect more deeply with the warblers. And check those out here. All the links will be provided below. All right, let's get started. What I'm gonna do is, yeah, so yesterday, just kind of on a whim, there was this event that I think a lot of you know that one of my teachers, his name is John Young. He wrote the book What the Robin Knows. If you're in the master's class, you probably have read it, or at least it was advised to read it. Yeah, so John was my teacher for a number of years, teacher, friend, mentor, all that. And every once in a while I pop into some of the things that he's doing. So yesterday on my email, I saw this little announcement that he was doing some event. It was like a Zoom kind of a thing. And I had some time, I was editing photos and I was like, oh, I could listen to what he's talking about while I edit my photos. So I popped in and it was just lovely. I always love like touching base with him and just connecting with what he's up to. And I think it's like getting an infusion of John is a good thing every once in a while. And for me anyway. And one of the things they were focusing on in this event was about gratitude. And it was really powerful. It's one of the things, like the very first thing I ever learned from him. It's the thing that we always did in all of our meetings. I used to help to run the Wilderness Awareness School back in the day. And when we would start our meetings, John always had to start with this. And I remember there were times where people were just like, why are we spending like 10 minutes doing gratitudes? We need to get our meeting on. Like we had, it's like we had an hour to do a meeting and we spent 10, 15 minutes doing gratitude. But what he always was honest about was that by doing this, by taking the time to be grateful, to remember those ones that we're connected with, to strengthen that relationship by speaking about them, by connecting with who they are and how they connect with our lives, it actually made the meeting go faster. We were in a different state of mind. Something was different about us and everything flowed faster. It was incredible. So yesterday they were focusing on this. They were sharing with people, maybe who never, met with John before. And one, it was just fascinating to me that, still after, gosh, I've known him for like 20 years now, he's still talking about the same thing. It's still the same foundational principles. It's still that important that he's still talking to people. That's the very first thing he talks to people about. And so John, this was brought to John's life from two of his teachers. One was Ingwe, who was actually a white man, a white South African, but as a young boy, sorry, there's a loud truck going by. As a loud boy, as a loud boy, probably was a loud boy, as a young boy, Ingwe grew up with the Akamba tribe, and he actually was, I think, one of the first and maybe only white men initiated into the Akamba warrior society. Because he basically grew up with them. They were part of his life. And anyway, so Ingwe became one of John's mentors when he moved back to the US later in his life. He was one of the first people that helped to start the Boy Scouts as well. His name, John Powell, I think is his English name. And then there was also Jake Swamp, Chief Jake Swamp, who was the chief of the Wolf Clan for the Mohawk Nation. And both of those people, both of those elders, told John how important it was to give thanks and to offer gratitude for the world around us. And there's something other, this other layer that happened during yesterday's Zoom that I'll share at the end with us. We'll kind of have a little bit of a different wrap up as we normally do. We'll do something similar but a little different, and I'm going to share something that came from that session yesterday. But today, that's going to be our focus. So I'm going to guide you through what we used to do. Jake Swamp called them the words before all else. It's also known in the Mohawk Nation as the Thanksgiving address. But one thing Jake always cautioned us about was he said, make it your own. You know, don't try to be us. Don't try to be a Mohawk. He's like, we have enough problems with our own people. We don't need more problems. He said, so make it your own. Like, let it be yours. And so this was like the approach that we took with the Wilderness Awareness School when we would start our meetings and whatnot. And so I'm going to guide us through traditional, like I don't want to say traditional, but through our approach to offering thanks. And what I'll encourage you to do is we're going to be focusing on various aspects of the wild. And so when I preface one of those aspects, what I want you to do is find something. So if I say trees, I want you to find one particular tree to connect with and to offer your thanks to. And just let yourself dwell with that one. Let yourself be in awe. Just be one, like the wonder of whatever that one is that's in front of you. And the reason I'm having us do all this also is that surprisingly for some people, by taking just a few moments to connect with the wild, to offer gratitude and thanks, it also brings the wild closer to us. There's something that shifts within us and changes and allows the wild world to feel on, I guess, to become on a similar wavelength, or we become on a similar wavelength. So anyway, I'll let you all have your own experience. We'll dive into that right now. Thanks everybody for being here. And hi, Cheryl and Claudia and Gabrielle. I don't know if I said officially hi to you guys yet. All right, let's get started. So let's first begin by getting ourselves grounded. So feel your feet on the ground beneath you, whether it's the actual wild earth outside or a deck or you're indoors. And if you are indoors, please crack a window if you can, if it's still warm enough, just so that you can at least hear or be part of the world outside. And otherwise, take a nice deep breath in and let it go. Let ourselves become really present to this moment, present to where you are. And just take in whatever it is, whether it's a smell or a sound or the sights around you. Let yourself receive those ones that are around you right now. And now notice your own body. Notice how you're sitting. Notice what you might be holding. Is there any tension in your body? Sometimes we might be surprised by the tension that we hold. Like, become aware of your jaw right now. Is your jaw clenched or is it relaxed and soft? Or maybe your eyes might be squinting. See if you can soften them and just let them be at rest right now. Noticing your shoulders. Are they soft and drop down a little bit, or are they maybe a little bit more up close to your neck? So just check in with the rest of your body. You can do your hips, your belly, your knees, your ankles, whatever other part of your body might be holding on right now that you feel safe, you feel comfortable to just allow it to be soft and receptive right now. And then noticing your own breath. So maybe your breath has already started to slow, your own heart rate coming into a more steady, gentle rhythm. Knowing that there's a group of us here from all around the country who are doing this together, all feeling a similar rhythm, noticing our breaths, being together in this experience. And if you'd like, you can close your eyes right now. I've already done so myself. It can help me to just slow down and connect a little bit closer to my own body for a few minutes. Good work. All right, so now with your eyes closed, if you chose to close them, you can begin by listening. So noticing the sounds that are around you right now. So start close in first, the sounds that are the most near to you in this moment. And then slowly starting to stretch out, maybe arms distance away from you, and then extending beyond that. And slowly, you can even imagine as if you're going around in a spiral where you're the center and slowly spiraling around yourself, remembering to check in with all sides, listening for your friends, your neighbors right now, both human, animal, natural element like the winds. Just noticing who's around right now. And then see how far out you can stretch that sense of awareness of sound. What's the furthest sound you can hear right now? Good work. So when you're ready, you can gently open your eyes. Allow yourself to take in the sights around you. And then allow your gaze to fall upon any object, anything that is inspiring to you. Doesn't even have to be, and nothing profound, just something simple where you can focus your gaze. So we're going to focus on one point in whatever it is you're looking at. If it's a tree, maybe it's a particular notch in the branch, or if it's a flower, maybe the center of that flower. So let your eyes focus on that one element, and then really gently, you're going to expand your vision, your awareness of your vision. So you're going to stay focused on that center point, like the center of the flower. And then you're going to slowly start to expand your vision, allowing it to get softer and softer, seeing how far in each direction you can actually see. Some of you might even try to look behind you as you're looking forward at the same time. So noticing right and left, up and down. And then as you get deeper into this, your vision may actually become soft and blurry. And if you are willing, just allow the blur, allow the softness to exist. And then start to see what you notice in the world around you. What are you picking up on? Any new movements or motions that you might not have noticed before? And you can slowly start to move away from that point of focus and gaze around you. But stay in this sense of vision. This, we call it owl eyes or softened vision. So stay in this softened vision as you gaze around. Good work. So we're going to begin first by focusing on the thing that Jake used to always tell us, both Ingwe and Jake, was that it's important to focus on the people first, because when we start to get more deeply connected with nature, we start to think that nature is good and people are bad. That can happen to a lot of people. John used to call it the sociopathic naturalist syndrome, where you're like, the nature is good, people suck. I don't like people. So it's really important because we're a part of nature too, to remember the people. So I want you right now to give your attention to something human made. Maybe it's the sound of a machine nearby. Maybe it's a neighbor walking a dog, anything that's human made. It could be your refrigerator. Anything that normally might, especially those ones that normally might kind of annoy you. Give your attention to that, and I want you to offer, well, I'm going to invite you to offer gratitude or a sense of thankfulness for this one. So let yourself dwell, let yourself just really find something to be grateful for in whatever it is that you're giving your attention to that's human made right now. I'll let you stay in silence right now while you do that. Good work. All right. So now we're going to, and as we do this practice, the more you can stay in that owl eyes, that softened vision, the which is not better necessarily, but do your best to stay in that softened vision as we travel along together. So now we're going to give our attention to the waters. So some of you may have some visible water near you. Others, you may have to imagine it. What's the nearest body of water or the one that comes to your mind? Maybe there's a particular body of water or maybe the clouds of rain, whatever it might be, anything that's an element of water that's in your heart right now that you can offer gratitude and thankfulness for. Nice work. So, as we're going through this process, what you want to try to do is really focus on speaking to the miracle, the wonder of what this one is. So, versus just, hey, thanks for being there. Thanks for being the water in my cup of tea this morning. What is that water? Where did it come from? What's its origins? What did it touch before it touched your lips? So, really getting to know it like you might a new friend. All right, and now we're going to shift on to the world of the elements. So, the minerals, the rocks, the soil beneath our feet. So, offering your gratitude, your thanks to the soil, the rocks, the minerals. Lovely. All right, now we're going to shift on to the world of the insects. So, you can find one particular insect that's near you or a whole group of them right now and offer your gratitude to the insects in your life, in the world around you. All right. Now we're going to shift on to the world of plants. So, any of the plants that are in your world right now around you. And you can think about this like certainly in no way belittling, like we are in no ways above the natural world, but when you're speaking to them, it's like you just saw your friend and she's wearing like the coolest outfit you've ever seen. You're just like, look at you! That's amazing! This is like so cool, right? So it's kind of like just like being enamored, so enamored with what's in front of you right now, so in love and just honoring all the gorgeousness that's around you. All right, so we're on to the world of plants. Okay, now shifting onto the world of the mammals, so the four-legged creatures in the world around you. Hi, Claudia. Welcome back. We're focusing on offering gratitude to the world of mammals in this very moment. Okay, now shifting to the world of trees. So, if you have any trees around you right now, giving your attention, your gratitude, your thankfulness to the world of trees, and one in particular, find one to focus your attention on. And now, the ones that brought us all here together, the birds. So, giving your attention to the birds right now. All right, and now the sky. So anything within the sky. So it might be the clouds, it might be the sun, the moon, the planets. And then now for our last two, this one is going to be the unseen world. So, in whatever way you connect with the unseen world, you can offer gratitude for the presence of the unseen. And then a common way for us to close or to wrap this kind of a practice is to offer thanks for anything we might have forgotten. So we offer a big blanket, just put a big blanket out there of gratitude to anything that we might have forgotten, because we certainly forgot many, many things. All right. So normally I say take a few moments to offer gratitude or a blessing to all those you connected with today, but I don't need to because that's what we were doing. So take just a moment to sit with yourself, sit with the world around you, and just be in stillness right now without needing to do anything. All right. Nice job, everybody. So, if you need to head out, thank you for coming. It was a blessing to have you all present with us. And if you'd like to stick around for our chat, we'd love to have you. We always stay after, and who knows what's going to happen. So, today's going to be just a little different. What I was thinking I'd love to do is to hear one element that you offered gratitude for and share that with us. So, letting us know who that was, what it was, and what you were grateful for with that one. So, normally I ask, how was this for you? What came up for you? And it would be interesting, I think, and valuable to hear that. But let's just begin anyway with getting to know a little bit about what people were grateful for and just choose one. So just choose one element that you offered gratitude for, and you can share that with the group. So who would like to start off? Yeah, Cheryl, you were right on it. Go for it. Let me give you the button.
I was particularly thankful for the trees. They bring so many things to my life, birds, bugs, moths, and caterpillars, and things that annoy me, and things that make me feel good. So it sort of rounds out my life. It isn't all good, good, good because I go, "Arr, arr, arr," when things fall on the ground and then I have to sweep them up. But it puts me outside, and I've never had a yard that had this many trees in it. And it's amazing how much I receive because the trees are here. So I have great gratitude for the trees.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, Cheryl. Thank you. All right, yeah, Marty. Is it Sister Marty, right?
That,
I remembered. Yeah. Oops, you're back on mute. There you go.
yeah. Well, I'm at a place that this weekend or this week, and out in front of me is a nice body of water, a lake. I have a river at home, but to be this close to the lake is kind of nice to be able to just watch the ripples or the stillness that's there. I watched a couple fishermen this morning and just a tiny little speck of color when the sun came up on the water. So for me, I gave a lot of gratitude for being able to be here next to the water this week.
Wow, what a gift. Thank you, Sister Marty. Really appreciate
Mhm.
that. Lovely. All right, who else would like to share their gratitude? I'll do mine. So, of course, there was many things, but for me, what came up was the ladybugs. There's been this invasion of ladybugs here at, I don't know I don't know if it's all of town or if it's just my house. I see them all around. So they've come in the house somehow. I don't know how they got in, but I have to let them out every day. And I even vacuumed a couple up the other day because I was like, I don't know what else to do. There's just so many of them. Uh, but today, when it came to insects, I glanced out the window and I was like, oh, I wonder what insect I'm going to give great gratitude for. And I saw the ladybug and I was like, all right, let's try this one. And so it was just awesome to spend some time with this ladybug. And I know they're not native to here, but just to give thanks for this, even this particular ladybug right here, and her strength and I don't know hers and his, but we call them ladybugs. So I thought too that like a lot of birds, a lot of creatures are scared of them, like because of the toxins that are in them, and so like this fierce little being, that a lot of things won't eat and won't touch. That's why there's so many of them, and how prolific and yeah, just and I don't know. When I was a kid, I thought they were so cute. They were this little ladybug, like in terms of insects, I was scared of lots of insects, and what a beautiful thing to have an insect that's like, at least to kids, I think it feels friendly. I think if it bites you or if you eat, it's like not so friendly. But anyway, it was lovely to give myself and my connection to these ladybugs who, otherwise, like Cheryl was saying with her trees, I was kind of feeling annoyed about. I was like, oh God, there's so many. Like, ugh, you know? So yeah, that was mine today. Who else would like to share? Yeah, Gabrielle, please.
Um, it's funny when you came to birds, there weren't any. I mean, they were just gone. So I just returned from a trip to the Netherlands, Holland, which was my childhood, was there. And I went to a family reunion and I stayed with a cousin. And the first bird I saw there was this really big dove. I don't know, the doves in Europe are so much bigger than here. And so that dove kind of stayed with me throughout the whole entire trip. And, I'm writing a book about animals. So I wrote my chapter on doves. And what happened in the middle of the week when I was there, I was staying with a cousin, and they had these big patio doors that were all glass. And the dove came and hit the window, and we heard it, and we went out there, and it fell and it died. And all this time, the dove had been about peace for me. They were um, all over Holland. There were posters with doves for peace and movements, and I thought, whoa, this wasn't peace. This was like violence. And but then I looked at the dove, and it died so peacefully that it was a whole different kind of peace. Anyway, it was very profound. So I had so much gratitude for these doves that were in my journey. Um,
Hmm. Beautiful, Gabrielle. Thank you. Looks like she might have frozen. There we go. Yeah, thank you, Gabrielle. Thanks for sharing that with us. Anyone else want to share their source of gratitude or one of the, yeah, Juliet, please.
Well, this came before just early on, and it's for the quality of quiet. And that is, we were listening close and then out and stretching my listening behind me. If there's any air movement at all, it's very little. There's no wind. The house is behind me. The wind chimes are not moving at all. And it dawned on me that quiet is not no sound. It's lack of sound would be part of it, but quiet is a quality. It's not a lack of something else. So that was the big deal for me today.
Wow, that's rich. That's really rich, Julia. Yeah, right on. Thank you. All right, Claudia, yeah, please.
My internet's acting up, but I hope it works well for this. Anyway, so I loved it when you said to give thanks for everything else and just this big blanket. And I felt myself sitting blanket of like a big hug, and it just I just felt especially good. Oh,
Kristi, you're
Yeah, I
muted
know.
too.
I just saw that. Thank you. I'm like talking, no one's hearing me. Claudia, I was going to say that we missed a lot of what you said, but
oh,
now that your video
yeah,
is
I
off,
lost it again.
that's probably going to help. It's if anyone ever has internet connections issues, just turn
Oh,
your video off. That usually does help. But if you could just repeat that, Claudia, so we could hear what you were
oh,
saying.
okay. Yeah, I just when you said to give thanks to blanket everything that you missed. I just pictured this big hug. It's like this big soft blanket going out over the whole world and everything beyond it. And that just felt so good. All the things, but that was especially nice. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's a beautiful image. Gosh, what a pretty image. I love that. Wow. All right. Well, one thing I'll share is anyone else want to say anything before I, Sarah? Yeah, okay, a couple more. So we have Jackie and Anne. Go for it.
Well, I um, I picked the human-made sound or machine-made sound because I was hearing, when trucks back up and they have that sound they make, and I lived across from a brewery that had that going till like 2 in the morning. And so I have quite a negative response to that. And I thought, as I listened to it, I went, oh, wow, thanks that somebody cared enough about somebody's safety that they wouldn't get hit because of vehicles backing up. And I thought, wow, that twisted it all around. And so then I could be grateful for it. And just I try to now use these human made sounds as just a wake up sound, like to go, okay, wake up from whatever thought you're having at the time, whatever story you're making up in your head or whatever it is. It's just a way to become more present. And then I'm not annoyed by it. It's more just, oh, okay. Dog's barking. That's waking me up. It's the wake up dog. It's the wake up backup sound. So
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Wow, Jackie, that's awesome. That's so awesome. I'm always going to think about that when I hear that sound. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, Anne.
I went with soil. I had the opportunity of digging a big hole and was able to see the layer of topsoil and how little of it there is. And I was thinking of the leaves that are falling and the grasses that are going to, move on whenever the weather changes and the rain that's going to come, that's going to increase this very fragile layer of topsoil we have where things grow. And, you know, and your geology is different wherever you go. But underneath, we have a bunch of, sand and gravel and shale underneath our topsoil. So I was grateful for how nature rebuilds this for us and makes more dirt all the time.
Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful thing. Yeah, thank you. Well, let's see, Claudia, she says, let me just read your, you guys can, if you want to read, actually, I can read it. Claudia says, Kristi, when we lived in San Francisco Bay Area, I was hiking in the mountains one time and came upon a place where ladybugs were hibernating. They covered the trees and bushes and rocks and ground in a huge blanket of red. I hadn't known they would do that. It was magical. Whoa, holy mackerel. Yeah, so just think about for a moment. The reason I had us do it this way was something that occurred yesterday during John's talk. And it was such a good reminder because, he, when they started the presentation, each one of the facilitators, there was like three people, they each gave gratitude to whatever they were feeling grateful for in the moment. And it was a bunch of different things. They told stories and whatnot. And John told this story about this insect. He lives in California now, and it's this insect. Was he talking about where he is? Or I think he was, or maybe a friend of his. Anyway, it's this insect that you can tell what the temperature is based on how many chirps it does. There's like a formula to figure out. You count the number of chirps and then you add 40 to it. And I guess it'll tell you the temperature. It's like a snow something or other, I think it's called. I forget the name of this insect. But he told this whole story about this insect. And then I got curious about that insect myself. And I was like, what is this cool insect? But when he brought up this idea that when we each share a little bit about something that's special to us, something that we're grateful for, it then connects us to those ones around the country and to each other. And then we get a little bit curious. We might even care about the ones, like care about that lake that Marty's on, or care about the silence that Julia gets to experience, or care about Cheryl's trees. And I often think about when Linda's here with us, she always talks about her grandfather tree. It's like, I want to meet this tree one of these days, like I've learned so much, like I hear about it all the time. It's just like another friend. And what a beautiful thing to think about that by sharing gratitude with others, we get to know about their world and we start to get curious about it and care even more about it. So this practice is just I think it's a very powerful, very special thing. And one of the reasons that we do it when we're birding, there's a couple different ways you can sort of use it. One is simply to be grateful, like that's a great thing to be grateful. But the other is that if you're seeing a bird and you want to get close to it, and it might be a shy one, oftentimes the shy birds, when we give our attention to them, it can be a lot for them and they'll, retreat and hide. But one way for us to get closer is to let go of caring about that one and giving our like focused attention on it. And so instead, what you can do is just shift your attention to something else in the natural world and start to fall in love with something else, like the golden leaves right now of these aspen trees. And it's like all of a sudden, when I've done this, sometimes I actually literally almost forgot about the bird I was looking at because I got so enamored with what I was looking at. I was like, yeah, those leaves are so amazing. And I wonder about like, when do they start changing? And I get all into the tree and then I'm like, oh yeah, that bird, And usually by that time, the bird has gotten comfortable. It can feel that my attention is no longer on it. My attention is somewhere else. This happens with the jay. And now I'm feeding these jays peanuts on my back deck here. And one of them has gotten pretty comfortable with me and it'll come to the deck, but only when I'm facing away. Like if I'm facing forward or toward it, it won't come. But it's the moment I turn my back and face away from it, it flies in really quick, grabs a peanut and flies off. Like usually I just leave the deck and I let it do its thing. But occasionally when I'm still out there, it comes, but only when my back is turned to it. We're just getting to know each other right now. So anyway, but it is it's like sometimes it's the literal turning of our bodies, but sometimes it's just the turning of our minds away from that one, turning our focus away from the one that we're looking at. And yeah, so all that to say, anyone have anything that they want to share that's like other than this or in addition, or just something that's come up for you from doing this practice? And we don't have to spend too long with it, but I'm just curious if there was anything that anyone else wanted to share to wrap us today. All good? Well, this was sweet. Thank you everybody for sharing your attention, where your attention was today, and sending love to all those things that that are gifting themselves to you in your life today and supporting you. And Marty, it was so great to have you with us. Thanks for coming today. And to everybody else, we'll see you soon. And everybody who's in the Roost, Marty, I think I've sent the announcement to everybody that I just started this bird lovers community called the Roost. If not, I'll
Mhm.
send it out soon. But
Okay.
we're gonna have what was I gonna tell you guys? Oh yeah, the Wednesday we'll do our ID Any Bird session on Wednesday again, and those have been going really good. And we're either gonna do shape or size, I think, this week. So we'll see you all on Wednesday, if not sooner. All right, everybody.
Yeah, Kristi, you sent a link for the Wednesday thing too?
The Wednesday thing is if you're part of the Roost. So that's like a
Okay,
Roost kind of a thing. But I'll make sure that I send out make sure I send out another announcement about the Roost, because I don't know if I got it to like everybody on the mailing list. So I can
okay,
send that out. Yeah, it's a $12
great.
a month, join the community and you get to participate in all sorts of cool stuff. So
Okay, great. Thanks.
yeah, for sure.
Good seeing
Love
you
to have
all.
you. Yeah, you too. All right,
Okay.
everybody.
Uh-huh.
Much
Bye-bye.
love. See ya.